Hello! Today I will be sharing my mind talking about food. I am really a big foodie, but I created this channel not to indulge into our pleasures, but on the contrary, to talk about deep understanding that stands behind those things that we like to do or those processes that happen to us. So, even talking about food today, which I like so much, I will talk about something deeper, about some insight that I want to share. So, the other day, I accepted at home a friend of mine. She's Italian and she loves cooking. I love cooking too, and this is how we met each other. And once we decided that we will be visiting each other's home in order to share experiences of cooking. She used to teach me mainly Italian food. I taught her Belarusian food, with the exception that lately, last years, I started having more and more ingredients products that I avoid using in my cooking, and then I started replacing some of them. And it happened that sometimes I cook something for her and I say, well, usually we eat it with sour cream, but here I offer you some soya yogurt. Or here we usually make it with some cream, beaten cream, but here I use some coconut cream. Because a few years ago, many years ago, I just stopped consuming meat. Then also I stopped taking fish. And last year's, together with my husband, this is why it goes easier, because we do it together. We already avoid taking some dairy products. Well, actually, we don't have any at home. We try not to have any. But still, when we are outside, we are not so strict. We don't put any ban on ourselves. So we can take some dessert or some dish which can include some dairy products. This is how actually I continued to come for cooking of my Italian friend, where I could still enjoy some habitual tastes, cheesy and fatty, like this creamy. And just these days, she came to my place, and she was sharing with me that a few months ago, um, she made a blood test, and yeah, her doctor told her that she had too high cholesterol level. And in order to decrease it, he recommended to her to avoid eating meat, and then also to take fish only a few times per, and also to avoid greasy, creamy dishes. It means not to have any cheese, and generally to avoid dairy products. Well, she was quite upset because she's an Italian who loves to cook. But the result of 2 or 3 months uh, persuaded her that she should continue this style of life, because her cholesterol level decreased even below the medium level. And she was just surprised why I do this for myself, although I don't have any health problems. So I shared with her that I try to live my life consciously, and I don't always have to have my own bump or to have my own mistake in order to understand something. It is quite enough for me to see the reactions of other people, how some of the products cause them diseases, and then I try to practice myself um, not to consume those products either. I mean, I try even to avoid eating too much gluten, although I don't have this celiac disease or anything else, any other problem. But at home, it's been quite a long time already that we don't buy any bread. It's been a few years that I make my own bread, and also this bread doesn't include any yeast. I make it with sourdough, and also I don't use wheat flour. I use less glutinous flour or non-gluten flour, spelt flour, which is less glutinous, or rye flour, for example. And yeah, but I'm not going to make a lecture now on healthy eating, because this is, I agree, this is controversial. Some people say that excluding dairy products we can harm our health, because nothing can replace this or that. So again, because I'm not making the lecture, I will not be going into details. I will go closer to the subject of my mind sharing. So why I wanted to talk about food? Because food has become so much into the matter of discussion lately. There have appeared so many articles discovering the truth of what we didn't know before, what we used to consume a lot before, and now they say this is harmful. And there are controversial opinions: what is good, what is bad, and why is this happening? My belief, my understanding, my insight is that this happens for awakening our consciousness. I make this pause so that you make the puzzle together. Well, consciousness is something belonging only to human beings, only us. It's only about us that we can make a choice. Making a choice is the moment of responsibility, taking responsibility into our own hands. I already spoke in some of the previous videos about taking responsibility. Maybe I should devote a separate video talking only about that subject to evolve this. But here I want to say that we take at least 3 meals per day. Usually we take them, pay attention, by habit. We cook what we love. We eat what we know to eat, what we learned to eat from our family, from the society. We don't really pay attention to what we eat and why we take those ingredients. Becoming a strict vegetarian, a vegan, there is so much of space for consciousness. There is a lot of opportunity to be conscious and be responsible for the choices that we make. And I don't say about the choices for the planet, to save the planet, which is also the logo of veganism, or for our own health. Pay attention. Most important is that there is opportunity for our mind. There is an opportunity to stop acting by habit. There is an opportunity to uh, make a difference, into our day. There is an opportunity to become conscious and think about how we make our choices. And most often you will see that you really eat by habit. You eat because others eat this too. So by making your own choices of what you eat, you can practice not to follow the crowd, to be independent, to be individual, to know what you do, not to put responsibility only on the doctors, but to know what happens to your body and to know the reasons how you cause that health or that disease to your body. With that, you can practice detachment, because there is so much attachment in what we eat. I'm a foodie, I know it. So there is so much attachment. So every time when you have a choice, you always have a choice, only that you don't pay attention to it and you don't make that choice. But choice is always there. 3 times per day at least, you have the opportunity to make a choice and to use your consciousness to decide what you will eat now. If you want to eat a piece of meat, analyze it. Yeah, life can become so complicated with all this analysis. Okay, don't go too much there. Just know what you are choosing and because of what. But be honest with yourself, and you will remark that it comes just out of not knowing, out of habit. So where there is habit, try to replace it by present moment understanding. This will help you to be more independent in any other choices that you will need to make. This will be applicable in any other situation, whether it is about job, whether it is about some solution in family life, with friends, whether you need to say yes or no, to continue or to stop something. Decisions will come easier to you because you will practice decision making 3 times per day by choosing what you eat. So this is kind of a mind sharing from me, that I want to propose you to look at all those tendencies of changing diets, of having diseases now. So many people actually do have diseases because of which they stop taking dairy products or glutinous products or meat. because the nature is awakening and the nature tries to invite us to awaken too. Here it is. So, thank you for listening to my mind sharing. And next time, we will talk about something else.